Hi. I wanted to send a message to Alex and the staff that he has. Alex, I have been a long time admirer of yours and always will be. What I have to talk to you about is important in that I see you as the most visible of the prophets of today. And I'm not saying that holding you up on a pedestal. I'm not saying that, I have this deep and wondrous admiration for you. It's that I see you as one of the men working on behalf of God and Jesus Christ. I'm not trying to sound melodramatic. I'm not trying to imply anything other than I think you're conducting God's work, and that's a massive responsibility. And having said that, I consider you like a brother. I consider you a member of God's kingdom. And you're going to have to really meditate on what I just said, because why it's important is that as far as our conduct with other people and who we invite into our sphere, these become really important, because you cannot, when I say you, I mean man in general, cannot serve two masters. And so you're either serving God and Jesus or you're serving Satan. And when I say you, I'm not talking about you personally right now. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about any man or woman walking the planet. You cannot serve two masters. And I was the one that had said something to you, and the reason why I'm bringing this up to you again is because I have no idea who Joe Rogan is, other than he's a comedian that you interviewed on your show. Never really heard of him. And it doesn't matter to me who he serves. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of people with good intentions that are out there that aren't necessarily having their heart in the right place. And let me explain, please. I used to, there's been protests that I've gone to, one of which Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins, Jane Fonda, and Sean Penn were present at. It was a protest against the Iraq War. And this was in Washington, D.C. I don't remember the year. It was after the second Gulf War. But, Susan Sarandon was up in front of the crowd pontificating and looking very angry and dramatic as she was speaking to the crowd about, what's happening to our poor soldiers. And I marched very close by to her and Tim Robbins that day, and it struck me that it's very nice that celebrities seem to care about people and that they come and talk on our behalf. What I've really come to grasp since then is that knowing who runs Hollywood, and I'm talking about at the very top, if we were to give the entity a name, each of these people have made their own decisions, pacts, agreements, done acts on the behalf of who they're serving in order to get to the positions that they're in. And that includes Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins, and Russell Brand. And he's the subject that I'm broaching next, because just like Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins, and I've seen Susan Sarandon in the news several times at different protests, and what I've begun to recognize is that this woman comes and she puts herself amongst the people, but I see her as nothing more than an information gatherer and somebody that has infiltrated what is going on as far as a positive movement for change for humanity. And I think what she's doing, what I think Russell Brand is doing, is he's putting himself in the midst of a movement, and right now it has to do with freedom and prosperity that is being erased, and these characters coming in acting as if they want to affect change positively, when I think they're doing nothing more as the satanic partners that they are to get as much information possible to take back to their handlers in order to get further instruction as to how they can more manipulate the situation to the ends of the New World Order. And I think that's the long and the short of it. And I don't wish to belabor the point, but I want you to understand that the responsibility that we have as Christians, those that are doing God's work, and that includes me, that includes you, that includes your wonderful staff, as we speak the truth, we really need to be careful about who we're inviting in as to what their motives are. Because a person like Russell Brand, and he's the crux of this conversation that I'm trying to have with you, that guy is not a nice dude. I think he is a scumbag to the nth degree. Just like many that he surrounds himself with. And Katy Perry has admitted that she has sold her soul to the devil. I mean, and the mere mention of these people, I told my son not long ago, who's also a devout Christian, I named him after my favorite singer of all time, Justin Hayward of the Moody Blues. I told my son, and I meant this, knowing what these people that reach superstardom, what they agree to, and God knows what that is, Satan does too, I would not pay, as much as I fawned over, I love the lyrics and the music and everything that Moody Blues produced, because it's fantastic music. I mean, go listen to it, it's wonderful. I would not give Justin Hayward the time of day. Not because I'm a witch, or that I just don't think that he has the real spirit that I would wish to be around. It's as simple as that. And it's quite possible that he's a good man of a good heart. I don't know. But I know that he is a 60s child or a 60s performer. I have seen him when he looks like he's flying as high as a kite on acid, along with his band members. I know the concept of groupies. I know the concept of making multi-millions of dollars. And Graham Edge has a house. He's the drummer of the Moody Blues, about a half hour from me. I've never been there, really don't know the exact address, but I know he has a house on the Manatee River. So, I'm just saying that you really need to be careful of the people that you bring on your program. Not to impress me, not to impress anybody else, but as you need to be fearful of God. Not fearful of man or the New World Order. I want you to please pay closer attention to what God wants to do to work through you. I find you as an excellent human being. Please do not take what I'm saying and twist it into I am just scolding you or I'm just putting you down. That's not the point. Russell Brand is a Luciferian. Please, just don't have him on your program anymore. He's dark energy. He's trying to find out what he can find out about the humble masses that really are searching for answers. And he's one of the twisters of it. He's one of the twisters of truth. So this is all I wish to say to you. Thank you for the work that you do. And I love you and everybody on your staff. The work you do is wonderful. And I believe, the faster we build coalitions together, I do not understand why there's certain things that just aren't backed and done right now for humanity's sake. I'll leave you with this. I talked to Fabian Calvo, He calls himself Fabian for Liberty, but he's just a really brilliant Christian guy. He helps people through his own seminars and types of his conferences. He's got recordings that he does. I've met him before in Tampa. And he had a lot of success through real estate ventures. But the only thing I wanted to say before I close is that I asked him directly in correspondence why Glass-Steagall. He said Glass-Steagall could be put back into place where there has to be a lot more human suffering, to which I wrote back to him and said, why would you even say that? Why does there have to be more human suffering before something like Glass-Steagall is put back into place? I had not gotten a response back from him yet, and this has been a couple weeks ago. But I did get a response back from someone that was on the same links, the same conversation in the replies, and this guy was definitely a very dark person, giving me some really just crap as to he was talking about basically survival of the fittest and how stupid humanity is and how deserving we are of what's coming down the pike. But there are certain things that need to be happening if we are to save humanity. And the faster we get coalitions together, as Ron Paul pointed out, the more we actually work on issues that work for everyone, then we're moving forward. God bless you. I hope you got something from this. Sorry to be so long-winded, but please be careful of who you put on your program, because humanity's watching. Thanks.